Day 31, post-procedure. I recently had Dr. Chase Lay perform his lay lift on me, which is a slim lipo procedure that he does to the chin area, as well as some sculpting in the jawline. Also put a little bit of fat injections throughout my face, on the forehead, some in the temples, under the eyes. I believe we did down the marionette line, particularly filled in this jowl area right before where the jowls are. And then I think he probably put in a little bit of fat in other places too to kind of help define that jawline. He also did slim lipo to my body, and I've been following YouTube. I've been giving a series of videos on my progress, and you can find those, or I'll also post a link to my Real Self journal. So if you want to check that out, if you're interested in getting this done, feel free to ask me questions on my Real Self profile. So here I am at, day 31, and I'm feeling pretty good about this. Still have a swollen gland in there that I'm, kind of just been watching very, very slowly reduce. It's at a point now where I think I should just, I can ignore it by just putting makeup and a little bit of a little slightly darker color, like a bronzer on my glands, because really I think I can just kind of have glands that protrude right there. So instead of worrying about it anymore, I think I'm just going to cover it up, because I don't think it looks too bad. I've got a couple glands that sort of sit out there because I have a little bit more fat. I guess it's kind of like you don't know what it's going to entirely look like. I think it looks great though. I'm really happy with this jawline. I have a beautiful jawline now. I've always wanted that, and it's really nice. I remember even being a little kid, having a little bit of a double chin, and I was never really heavy per se, but I've just always had a little bit of fat here and there. That's just the way I've been built, and I, was uncomfortable with that sometimes, and and decided I didn't want to have that anymore. So other things that have been good is, the fat grafts. I feel like I look much younger, and I feel like I look natural. I feel like maybe I just look like a really better, really improved version of 34, and that's nice, because I've always felt like I've looked a little older. So other things. Maybe if I make a muscle, can kind of show a little bit more, but I'm a little more comfortable pinching now. I wasn't comfortable really pinching it before because I was sort of just not touching that skin, but there's still some loose skin in there. I think I was maybe getting a slightly better result when I was putting some compression pads of some sort, or just some sort of soft object into my armpit. So maybe I would put in a very thin pair of socks, folded up strategically to kind of fit in that area. Or sometimes I use the inserts for bras, but that kind of will dig in because it has like a crease on it. So getting the little jacket style sleeve compression that buttons up the front, I personally think I need to start wearing that compression again, because I think I was getting a little better results. But they have compression pads that you can buy online for $20-something a piece. I just use socks or something and shove them in my armpits. But you got to make sure you're comfortable, and you got to make sure you're getting circulation. And there were times when I, was feeling like just taking that compression out would help my circulation a little bit. And so I just keep adjusting. My body keeps changing different levels of swelling and different levels of fluid in my body. I've been really pretty good about not eating salt. I actually just went on vacation to New York, and there was pizza involved. And, you know, and there are a couple other things, but I really am careful about, you know, making conscientious decisions, understanding, you know, that I need to eat low sodium, you know, so when everyone else is going out, I have to be careful and just have, you know, some balsamic vinaigrette on a salad, you know, and things like that. And those are decisions that you make to make sure you're not in pain, because it is something, it's not just going to, I mean, it will affect your results, which is really the main reason I do that, but also because it will make you uncomfortable. Things like wearing the garment. Sometimes I would feel like I had a jacket style, and I also have these like sleeves. They're just sleeves and you Velcro them. I wanted to have options, so I would wear just the sleeves, and I would put like, you know, a little bit over it to get into the armpit. So I had, you know, just kind of the feeling of tightness in my armpits, but I would feel that sleeve sometimes pinch a little, and it would feel like it was cutting off my circulation. So I'd have to change up what I was wearing. So it's good to have, you know, a couple different options of compression I found, and that's been good. But, you know, watch your sodium and, you know, have some options on compression would be a couple of my recommendations. Also, you know, you can, you know, wear those compressive garments or compressive items inside of the armpit. And I think that does make a little bit of difference that might add up to a nice result, you know, over time. So that's what it's all about, is about the fact that this is the kind of thing that it takes a while. You know, you aren't going to get your results overnight. And okay, so I think I've shown my arms. Here's my stomach, legs. Everything's feeling pretty good in terms of how it looks. It's kind of, I mean, you know, I kind of have a soft body. I probably will be working out a little bit more now that, you know, that I have this like motivation to do so, because I am happy with how everything is shaped and feeling. You know, the skin itself is starting to feel like my skin again. Originally, it's very numb, and some parts are numb. My arms are still numb. My legs, I've actually got most of their sensation back. Maybe like, you know, 70%. My stomach is probably at 50. My arms are still probably like at 30 to 40% sensation. Like I'm only feeling 30 to 40%. It's like I can kind of feel it on the very, very surface, but deep inside, I don't feel anything in the skin, not in the muscle. Like I can still feel my arm, and it's tender, but the arms are the most tender area. I don't feel any more tenderness in my legs or tightness. And I don't really feel any in my stomach at all. If someone were to grab me in any of these areas, it would be very painful. But just, you know, regular amount of pinching or whatever isn't. But the arms are pretty tender, you know, so that's something to note. So yeah, so those are my my results, and I think I've covered all the talking points. So I'm just going to touch base whenever I feel that there's something important to add. And I highly recommend going to Dr. Chase Lay. He made really good decisions in my surgery that, you know, I look natural. I think I look younger. I like the shape of my face. You know, he gave me, you know, a good idea of what to expect in terms of, you know, this bit of motor, you know, muscle control, the lack of muscle control in my lower mouth. And that's something to know too when you get something like this done, is it took, you know, I'm still biting my lower lip a little bit when I eat, because my lip doesn't move all the way. So it'll get caught on my tooth when I'm, you know, if I'm eating something a little bit bigger than my mouth is. But that's about as far as I can open it, which is almost as far as I could before. My mouth does feel a little different. It feels like it doesn't quite work the same. But, you know, smiling is almost normal. And it gets better all the time. I used to have a really doofy smile for you know, the last 3 weeks. So I'm now to a point where I have a regular person smile, but it's not my smile. But I'm waiting. I think that's actually going to be like one of the most exciting points is when I look like this and I have my smile back. But it's mostly there, and I'm really happy. He did give me a good idea of what to expect, and he when he says what he says is what happens. So I couldn't be more pleased. Highly recommended. And feel free to hit up my Real Self profile. I'm going to put a Real Self link on this YouTube video, and you'll be able to find me on there and ask me questions if you need to. All right, thanks a lot.